Good afternoon, Africa. Good afternoon, African Confessions. I am back with another episode. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi. How are you? Can you please hide my identity? I am a girl who was deep in love with a guy to the point where I thought of getting pregnant for this guy since he was a rich guy. So I thought that if I was going to fall pregnant for him, I would be leaving him with no choice but to marry me. Everything my boyfriend had told me was just a lie. I wish I had known in the beginning of our relationship that my boyfriend was not someone whom he was claiming to be. My boyfriend was not rich at all. My story goes like this, Brother Nashi. I come from a middle-class family and I wanted a high-class life. As someone who was in the middle class, growing up, I had the opportunity to mix and mingle with people who were rich and who were in the upper class. And I had made a promise to my parents that I was going to shift our family from the middle class and we were going to be in the upper class. We were living in the suburbs at my mom's parents' house. Like I said, I didn't want any guy. I had to first look at how big their wallet was before I could date them. That is when I got approached by this guy on this other day. When I looked at him, I saw that he was driving a very beautiful, luxurious car. And then we exchanged numbers because I saw that this guy, he seemed like he was living in the upper class. I had already liked him before. This guy had told me that he was a truck driver and he was able to buy this luxurious car from his job and other deals that he was doing, because he told me that whenever you will be carrying these loads, he was also doing deals on the sides. And he told me that the deals that he was doing whilst he was driving the truck, those deals were giving him a lot of money. So I knew that if I was going to be married to this guy who seemed like a hustler, I was going to enjoy the rest of my life. He told me that he had already purchased a residential stand in the areas where rich people were building their houses. And he told me that he was already in the process of building his mansion in that place where people from the upper class build their houses. I was so happy. I thanked God. I thought that God had finally heard all of my prayers. Little did I know that the devil was against me. I started falling in love with this guy, but he said that he was still living with his parents and his stepmother. When he told me that he was still living with his parents, I made a request to him because I wanted to meet his stepmother so that I can seal this deal. I wanted to get married to this guy as soon as possible. So whenever I would make that request that I wanted to meet my in-laws, like his father and his stepmom, he would come up with excuses like, my stepmother is a witch. That is the reason why I can't get married. My stepmother has been going around like visiting a lot of traditional healers, and my stepmother has been doing rituals against me so that I won't be able to get married. Then he told me that this other time he was dating this girl whom he loved so much. When he went with this girl whom he loved so much to meet with his father and his stepmother, when they were coming out of the house, that is when he came across his stepmom, and his stepmother was busy doing a ritual. So when me and that guy met, he told me that he had made a decision that he wanted me to meet his parents only after I had fallen pregnant for him, or maybe when we have been married in secret. That was his plan. He told me that me and him, for our relationship and for our marriage to work, we had to get married first in secret. Then after I have fallen pregnant for him, that is when he was going to take me to his father and his stepmom, because he kept on telling me that his stepmom was a witch and I believed everything that he was telling me. So whenever me and this guy we would meet up at his friend's place. This guy was just a deceiver. Most of the times he would tell me that he is on the road and he's going to South Africa to pick up a load, and he was going to take that load back to Zambia. Sometimes even for 2 weeks trying to reach him on the phone was just a struggle. Sometimes he will be telling me like the place where he was going to pick up the load, there won't be network and things like that. I believed him. The reason why I ended up believing this guy, it was because whenever you would tell me that you will be going to South Africa to pick up a load and going to deliver that load maybe in Mozambique or in Zambia, on his WhatsApp, he would upload videos of him driving a truck. Sometimes he would be doing something around the truck. So I ended up believing that this guy was truly a truck driver. And sometimes he would actually show me money, like he would be counting money in his truck, telling me that all the money that he was counting, it was from the side hustles that he was doing when he would be driving that truck. I don't want to lie. I had fallen in love with this guy, and then I fell pregnant for him. When I told him that I had fallen pregnant for him, that is when his behavior started to change. He was pretending like he had gone to Zambia with a truck. So on this other day, when he had called me and he told me that he was on his way to Zambia with a load, I went to his friend's house because I wanted to ask what was going on. I was suspecting that this guy, maybe he was cheating on me. So I wanted to confront his friend. When I got there, as I was speaking with his friend, I think maybe they had not given each other a tip off, because as we were speaking, he thought that I had came to his house to wait for my boyfriend so that we can meet up. He asked me what time was my boyfriend coming. I was surprised because I knew that my boyfriend, like now, he must be in Zambia. And my fiance's friend, he was like, he's going to come now. So I could not understand. What do you mean if you say that my fiance is going to come here right now? Because as far as I know, right now, he is in Zambia. He has a load that he needs to deliver in Zambia. So this guy started laughing at me like I was crazy, or maybe there was something wrong with me. That is when he took his phone and he dialed my fiance's number. Then he put the phone on loudspeaker. They started speaking, and then that is when he asked his friend like, where are you right now? At that moment, that is when I knew that my fiance was no truck driver. He was just someone who was hustling, because he actually said, tonight I am going to pass through your place, and please can you prepare pap, because like I am hungry right now. So when I am coming from work, I want to pass through your place. Then my fiance's friend, he dropped the call. That is when he started laughing at me. He was like, do you even know what kind of a job does your boyfriend do? And I was like, no, my fiance is a truck driver. He kept on laughing at me until he told me that my boyfriend, like my fiance, he was just a gardener who was working for this other white guy. Then he told me that, you see that car that you think it is his car, it is not his car. Most of the times when he comes to your place to pick you up with that beautiful car, like his boss would have sent him to the car wash. So he then takes that opportunity to come to your place so that he can show off like he's a rich guy. But that guy, he is just a gardener. My fiance's friend was like, he doesn't even have a car and he doesn't even know how to drive a truck. I was like, but what about all the videos and the pictures and everything that he uploads on his WhatsApp statuses and the videos that he sent me, like when he is in the truck? Then my fiance's friend told me that my boyfriend was in this group whereby it is a group of truck drivers. So whenever he will be on his off days, that is when he sent a request in that WhatsApp group, like if there is any truck driver that will be looking for an assistant whenever my fiance will be on his off days, and then you will go and be like an assistant to those long distance truck drivers. When my fiance's friend told me that all of this was just a lie, I was so heartbroken. But in the end, he told me that this guy that claimed to be a rich guy, he already had a wife and a small baby. I was heartbroken. I waited for him all day long until he came in the evening, and he confirmed that everything that I was told by his friend, it was nothing but the truth. He was just a gardener. He told me that he was embarrassed because on the day that he proposed love to me, it was like I had fallen in love with the car that he was driving before I had fallen in love with him. I was so shocked and I didn't know what to do anymore. He told me that he cannot take care of me and my pregnancy because he is just a gardener, and the kind of a salary that he is getting, he cannot manage to have two wives, and he actually rejected my pregnancy. Brother Nashi, as we are speaking right now, I am desperate. I am actually thinking of doing an abortion because after everything that had happened, I then sought comfort to this other friend of mine. This friend of mine told me that in town she knows this other shop, like it belongs to the Nigerians, but they do these abortions, and I am afraid that if I go there, maybe they are not doing legal abortions. So I am afraid that if I go there and then I have an abortion, what if I die? The reason why I have contacted you, my brother, I am really scared because I once had this other confession that you posted that there was this other girl who was forced to have an abortion by a mom, and in the end, that young lady had an infection until her womb tend to be green, then it had to be removed. So whenever I think about that confession, I keep having doubts. But my friend, she is like forcing me. Like now, she forwarded some messages that were sent to her by that guy who is running that abortion clinic, because they were asking for how long have I been keeping this pregnancy. So I have been keeping this pregnancy for something like 2.5 months. Then they told me that there is nothing that needs to be removed. They are just going to give me some pills. I am so scared. When it comes to money, I have the money to go there and do the abortion, but I'm just keeping this as a secret for my parents. And the reason why I want to have an abortion, because I am so embarrassed that all of my friends, like the friends that I have who are in the upper class, if they know that the guy that ended up impregnating me is just a gardener, where am I going to hide? Please, can you share my story? Maybe I can get advice from your platform because I don't know what to do. Should I go ahead with this abortion? Because I am afraid that if my parents find out that I am pregnant, and if they find out that the guy that has impregnated me, he is just a gardener, they are going to kick me out of the house. Please help me before I make the wrong decision. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from Anonymous. Please let us try to speak with her in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.